Little live here. I've been doing this for half hour now, and I'm like just doom scrolling, and I'm seeing some of those scrolls you go through, and it's alive, and I'm like, why aren't I doing this live? Just for content's sake, not even like sharing anything possibly of value. Um, yeah, I have some dried up herbs already. Did I say that right? Herbs. That's been sitting here for way too long. Just hadn't had the gut feel to do anything about it. But today I did harvest a few more things that I want a second set or second what's the word? I'm always at a loss for words. Second round of drying. So I got some mints and basil. But the basil is not for drying necessarily. I like to process those fresh. But um but the dry stuff already is in the way. So I only have so much space. So I want to get those out of the way. So I've been doing that. I haven't done live on YouTube in a long time. So I don't know like where are all the buttons. All right, there we go. There's the chatty chat button. I don't know if I'm going to see any of that. What other buttons are there? Well, I know there's the flip. That's all I know. Okay, I think if we flip it, you can see this is what I harvested today. This is some of the dry stuff I have to get into jars. I've started jarring. Now the calendula, I should have gotten to sooner, but I didn't, so I only have a little bit. But I do still have some from last year. This were not super dry yet, so I didn't put them in. The comfrey I already did, so I left them pretty big. Most of these I do like, I put them in oil for salves. This feverfew. So this I would probably make like a tincture. And then I got this, was it last year? I didn't really use it much. It's one of those air sucky things, devices. So that's what I used for the comfrey. So I was able to seal this jar up with that. So that's a cool little, not very expensive gadget. And then now I have this batch of, I really think it's singing nettle, but for some reason I'm like questioning my logic here. But I didn't really harvest anything else in mass other than that. So I'm pretty sure this is stinging nettle, and I'm going to be getting into a jar in a minute. And you can see I reuse jars like, what was this? Olives. This was spaghetti sauce. More olives. A lot of spaghetti sauce and olives. This is your typical mason jar, which are precious. So when it's just preserving things like this, I do just try to use up jars. So I do, when I buy things at the supermarket, I do like to grab glass containers versus plastic ones. All right, just whatchamacallit. I'm just gonna do stuff. And you're gonna sit here and watch. And if I remember to look at the chatty chat, I will. So that's the thing with why do I have the sniffles? Oh, something here is bothering my sinuses. Could be any of these things. I know I picked a handful of flowers, not wildflowers, but flowers around the yard. Some I planted some self-seeding, and I wasn't wearing gloves. And it takes like a day. It takes a few hours for me to suffer allergies. It didn't used to be like that when I was younger. It would be instant, but now it takes time. But like my arms were, first they were just itchy, like both of them, but more the side that I didn't think would have been itchy. I thought this side would have been itchier. But then, as you're scratching, it started to swell. And usually I would get like blisters, and there was a little bit, but mostly it was just swelling. And like the palm of my hands were so itchy. But it didn't take long to go away. But something in that variety of flowers was bothering me. So I wear gloves so I don't have to suffer so much. Now, I am very picky about my saving of these. Like some have, how's this coming through on camera? Can you see the spots on there, brown spots? Like I wouldn't save that. So like maybe they'd get a leaf out of this whole bunch, maybe two. What else? And obviously if there's any webbing or bugs, I'm not going to save any of that either. Okie dokie. I had started picking the rosemary a few days ago, but it was just so obnoxious that I stopped. But we'll have to get to that at some point. Yeah. So normally I would feel weird, and obviously I'm talking, but in the past I would have felt weird having a silent situation where you're just doing something and not saying anything. But I see a lot of people do it, whether it's successful or not. It doesn't really, for my sake, doesn't matter. So I'm not going to do too much talking. I haven't deep dived into the medicinal properties or health benefits of any of these things. I've heard what I've heard, I've read what I've read, but I'm not yet in a position where I can regurgitate them. So I won't. Unless I remember, which at the moment, drawing a blank. So stinging nettle, I think, is good for, I have no idea. It's good for something. Your oh my God, what's the word? Immunity? Is that it? Immune system, duh. It's good for your immune system. So this would be good in a tea. Most of these things would be fine in a tea. But if you want more potency than, maybe this is what's making me sneezy. It could also be dust that's built up on these since I've left them out for too long. Tincture, which I have not actually done any of. My husband did, but I have not. So in my case, I wouldn't be adverse to using vodka. I would not use Everclear. That stuff is gasoline. But I do also have glycerin, but I like to save that for skincare. So I would use some cheap vodka, or good tasting vodka, not super awful vodka. I need a bag or something. No, I have I have my giant bin where I put all my paper shreds, which is perfect because this all goes to the compost. All right, turn me back around. Oh man, this is up. I'm gonna be sneezing through this whole process. That's not great. And that is something that I discovered, that certain things that is supposed to be helpful is actually the opposite. But it also depends on, maybe I took too much. Like echinacea is supposed to be something you take, when cold and flu season hit, or before cold and flu season. And I was doing that for a time. And the thing was, I was taking it like, as I already was getting the cold. But I was finding it was like making it worse. So I stopped taking it. And I figured that I was just allergic to it, basically. And that is possible. You could be allergic to these things. But it could also be that maybe I was taking excessively amounts of it. So I've given it a hiatus, and I'll try it again once the season ramps up for that. And just take a little bit and see if it helps. And I don't have a reaction to it. So unfortunately, these plants come in at the height of the season that I'm trying to get annual plants out. So I tend to get to these later than I would like. So yeah, the leaves are a little more beaten up, more bug damage, more disease set in. So ideally, in the future, I will clone myself, and that one can do one of the other many jobs I have to do, like harvest in a timely manner. And I'm like being very selective here. I don't really care that much to pick every stinking leaf if it's not a considerable amount to harvest. Like basically I'm just taking all the little leaves and leaving the big ones that are looking batty. And I have a bunch more, particularly the one, have this giant bush, or few, that I, on purpose, planted by the chicken coop. It's shaded there. The soil is super rich because of the runoff from the chickens. And the chickens are free to graze on it when they feel like it, which isn't often. I think they would probably prefer the dried up stuff without the pokiness. So there's a beautiful patch of it there that I can always harvest. It's not, because it's so healthy, it's not like dying back as quick, and it's more shaded. It's not dying back as the other batch I have, that the original batch or patch that I harvested this from. So if I don't harvest much today, there's still more to be harvested. Thanks to anyone who's come in. Hi. Thanks for liking. I can't see the chat. I know people have had this issue. Like I have, it's invisible. Oh, there we go. I see it now. Hi, G Mama. Hi, Brampton Gardner. Sewing and listening, awesome. I am currently, so when does it come up? Do I have to keep pushing the button? I am currently processing stinging nettle, dried up already. This was dried calendula. Here's a few left that aren't dry completely yet. I have comfrey in this one. This is feverfew. I also have to process some rosemary. Yeah, so that's, oh, I did already have a jar of stinging nettle started. So this is my second jar. Where am I putting this? And then I have some fresh stuff that I just harvested this morning that I'm gonna be drying. I got my mints, peppermint, spearmint, and Mexican mint. And this is a little bit of cinnamon basil that's gonna be for fresh processing. And I got the sniffles because I'm allergic, or have gotten allergic to something I'm processing here. Well, that's annoying that the chat isn't staying up though. This reminds me I should have a cup of my goldenrod tea to help with ragweed allergies. Yes, I am. The goldenrod is just coming up along with the ragweed. I can now tell the difference between the two, so I've been more diligent in exterminating one, keeping the other. Yeah. So yeah, that's on my list, the goldenrod. Although I think, well, even if I do have some still from last year, it never hurts to have a fresh batch. So I'm being selective, if you missed me saying so earlier, that a lot of these are a little only old and the not so nice side, so I'm giving a lot of these to the compost or the chickens. Because I did not harvest in the best season, or the best time frame. I was a little late because I was busy with normal other gardening stuff. But I had to get this processed because I had to make room for the new stuff coming in. Oh, I have oregano in the garage drying. I have to. Let's see what I do. Yeah, I put that on some like a screen type thing, mainly to get the bugs off of it first before I let it in the house. There's always There's always bugs, spiders, crickets. Not crickets, but they look like little crickets. I just have plenty enough indoor bugs. I don't need to be bringing the outdoor ones in too. Alright, I'm feeling kind of wasteful here, but these are looking really sad. Sorry, let me check the chat. It's tough. This is tough to do. Come on, chat. Hornworm, no! Oh my god, that's awful. Oh no, your goldenrod didn't come back. What? Wow. That's weird. But yeah, the hornworm, I gotta get. Dang it, you people always remind me to do more work. Like it was You Grow Row. This morning I was watching her last video and she reminded me to process my herbs. And then G Mama's live this morning was like, oh yeah, I gotta look at the ground cherries. See if any of them are good. But I know they are because I saw one, like the dog must have gotten it or something because it was just dropped in the middle of the lawn. And I was like, oh yeah, I should look at that. And then I forgot. That was yesterday. So this morning's live was like, oh yeah, I gotta look at that. And get some of those eaten already. And surely they must be ready by now if hers are ready. And then I had to check on my grapes. I only had like a handful, but they're still there. But the spotted lanternfly is said to like grapes, so I wanted to make sure I hadn't lost them all already. So far, so good. I think maybe they're like in the woods, and the spotted lanternflies are in the open in the garden area. So I think there's a good chance that they won't know where the grapes are because it's too far out of their reach. There's a bunch of like dead bugs on these. It's not lunchtime.
Yes, it is.
Well, go eat lunch then.
I can't cook.
Well, apparently it's lunchtime. Didn't you just eat breakfast?
No.
Yeah, it's only been 3 hours.
So,
Well, let me finish this. Not much more to do here.
besides, I was playing a break game.
Let's see. Any more comments? Come on, let's see them. See, I wish I could wake up that early, as G Mama does. It's just so. Oh, I should wake to bed early too. That would probably help. But like I just caught the tail end of hers. But the alarm clock rings about 7, a little after 7, because I don't want to get too used to like waking up at 9 p.m. 9 a.m. But by the time I get out of bed, it's already an hour later. The snooze is strong. Yeah, but then the temperature's already up in the mid 80s, or even if it's if it's 70s, like high 70s, which is what it's been, it still feels like it's already 90 degrees outside. And the humidity's been, well, the humidity's not been uber bad, but it's not great. But yeah, it's been just such a hot week. It's supposed to dive bomb, this next couple of days. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the high yesterday was what, 96? And the high on Friday is going to be 66. So that's quite a dippy dip there. I think I got stingered here. I'm feeling a pinch on my pinky. But you gotta get up super early to beat the heat. And luckily, I'm still young enough that I'm not waking up at the crack of dawn like I know I will be in a couple of years. And I blame it on the school system because I don't have a job yet. So my kid, for the next, 2 more years? No, I have more than one kid. For the next many years, but at least I have 2 more years of waking up about 6, between 6 and 6:30. But then come in the third year, I'm gonna be waking up at like 5:30, which I'm so looking forward to. Ugh. So yeah, I think by then my system will start getting used to waking up at that time all the time. And then my sleep in will be 6:30. And then maybe I'll be on the garden like G Mama is. And beating the heat and watering the plants and having that time to care for them better. But yeah, I do have to get to bed earlier. It's really not good, our schedule at the moment. But school has a way of changing that up pretty quick. I do like to get us on routine, like at minimum 2 weeks before school starts. But I'm gonna try to do a month of that this year. Like, so after, like, we have one little mini vacation coming up in the beginning of August, and then after that, we're gonna get back on routine, going to bed at a decent time and getting up at a normal time, so that it's not such a shock to the system when it actually comes in the beginning of September this year. All right, looks like I'm almost pretty much done with this. I'm not gonna keep anybody. Obviously, I'm begging to get lunch started. So I'm gonna do that. All right, looks like that's all I'm getting for today. let me flip the camera so you can see my face. Well, after I see what the chatty chat said. Lightning bugs, yeah. I love to see them. Let's see. We were talking about, there's a lot. You guys are awesome for giving me so many comments, but I guess let me flip so you can see my face if you need to. You were wondering, I scrolled up the chat. The kids are always hungry. Oh my God. And they haven't even begun to be like teenagers yet. I can't wait for that. Lantern flies, right, not lightning bugs. Oh goodness. Dang it. Where did it go? You saying what I thought were lightning bugs might not be. No, lantern flies are very distinct, like in appearance. You have never seen them before. Lightning bugs are pretty, they're tiny and delicate, mostly black. So they're awesome. I mean, they're not awesome. But I posted a picture, on my community post of what they look like right now. So, yeah. Yeah, I do got to do some research on it. I keep saying I'm gonna. They eat snails, slugs, earthworms, dead animals, organic material, and larvae. Interesting. Little night workers. Oh, lightning bugs. All right, there we go. All right, thank you everybody. G Mama and Brampton or Rachel, if I may say so. Thanks for coming up and playing and commenting. Participating, that's it. That's always good. All right. I wish the chats would stay. Why did they go away? Like, I have to click on it all the time. Is there a button I'm supposed to push? I don't know. But anyway, sorry. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you always. Yeah, I think as the weather cools down, then we can go back outside and film something. It's been so hot. I haven't wanted to go out. I haven't wanted to bring the camera out because it overheats, obviously. So I haven't had the energy. StreamYard, they say, but not just YouTube Live. I have to look in. Oh, they say, yes, right. That's the thing. YouTube Live hasn't figured it out yet. But I thought they used to. I thought they used to do that. But yeah, my Wi-Fi stinks. Internet here stinks. So I can't do much live outside. I tried it once and it was okay, but you couldn't get very far or move very fast. And then you get all blurry and I don't like that. And some people have I tried to use that Wi-Fi, it amplifies, but it didn't work for us. The house is like concreted it's concrete on certain sides. So if you got to that side of the house, then it was useless. So there's another way to magnify your Wi-Fi, but it's super costly. So we haven't felt the need to go that route. But all right, I will, obviously, you'll see a video from me eventually. And there's always my live with Healy Beans. We did one, it's Tuesday, right? Yesterday. And we'll do another one in 2 more weeks on my channel. So you can always catch those if you don't catch the sporadic videos. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Bye. No. So I'll harvest more. Bye.